GYBW podcast. Welcome. Good morning, everyone. We're going to let this scroll by so you guys can see these beautiful women. And then we're going to start in a few minutes. GYBW podcast. See you guys on Instagram. About to start. You won't be able to see the whole screen, but you'll be able to hear what we're talking about. So stay tuned. Here's our beautiful. Okay, you guys, we're here live. So good to see everyone. Last week we had a parenting class, so we couldn't do our podcast. And I would like to do a huge shout out right now to Chaplain Takia. She just bought a new house, so she's really focused. So let's just go, hey, congratulations. Yay. Women doing business, women getting land. And also we are going to be talking about women in politics. I mean, it's a really dope type situation. Black women are moving to a place of healing and success, but not a place of a total, boss or taking over or trying to rule people, but literally a place of great leadership that God wants us all to have. So I want to start this podcast off by saying a prayer. We got a really awesome hot topics to talk about. And then we're also going to be touching on narcissism. So tune in this morning. It's good morning, good morning, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. And listen to Growing Young Black Women podcast this morning. Okay, let me start off with a prayer. Father, we just thank you so much for this day. We thank you that we can glorify your name. And we thank you that we have the opportunity to just express our thoughts, our feelings, and to put us in a vulnerable place of healing. Thank you that you put it on my heart to do this podcast to help the Black woman's womb be healed. And so, God, this is my purpose, and I thank you that this purpose is going to last and succeed. And I pray that every woman that watches this, that they find a place of healing. In your son, Jesus' name, amen. Okay, we also have our GYBW ambassador, Niveah. Hello.
Hi, guys.
She's back. She has a cool questions to ask. And so we were going to probably, I think we're going to try to do it early and see what those responses in. And then I'm going to teach on narcissism. You can stay or you can leave. How's that sound? You're going to stay? Or are you going to go?
I can
No, you can leave. It doesn't matter. But either way, and we're on Instagram right now. We're on, we need you guys to start subscribing too. So I'm going to mention that on some of the things now, but we need you to go to GYBW podcast on YouTube and subscribe. We need you guys. We know you guys are watching live. Go to GYBW podcast, GYBW podcast, and subscribe, because we want to keep getting this out, not just in America, but all over the world. And we really believe YouTube is that source. So we need more people subscribing. So go to GYBW podcast, or you can go to Jaysie Sheppard podcast, which is all GYBW podcasts, and just subscribe. All right. So also, I want to get right into our topics, because there's some awesome topics that we want to make sure we're talking about today. And so we're going to be talking about what everybody has seen, because there's some really cool things that just happened. I don't know if everybody's happy about this week. I mean, I think women in general should be happy.
Yeah.
Just women, So, I mean, I don't know why women wouldn't be just so happy about it. But I think women in general should be happy that there was a woman in a presidential position. for America. And I think this touches almost everywhere. Well, other parts of the world, there's a lot of women in high position. There's prime ministers, and they're running their whole country. But America has always struggled with women in leadership, and yet it's funny because I think Queen Elizabeth kind of runs our country, and I mean they have some ownership. If you look at the legal things about America, like the United Kingdom owns like America a lot in a lot of ways. But Queen Elizabeth is a woman, so there's a lot of things in that. So like, and then there's other prime ministers. But I think this is an awesome tag team. I'm not saying that I voted for any of them. Don't get into politics or who I voted for, but I am happy that there's a woman in position. And then we go into the Black woman. Okay, we having a Black woman in position. And some people are trying to regulate how Black is she. Trust me. Okay, if you think I'm Black, then she's definitely Black because I never did no dang on sororities. Okay, she did the sister sorority. What else do you need? Okay, she went to all Black college. What else do you need? Okay, so stop throwing that out, y'all. We got to cut that crap. That's the whole slave mentality still. You in the slave house, so you better than the working field man and all that kind of the house. I don't like to say the N-word. No, we're not going to do that. We are all getting the same kind of mistreatment in all kinds of ways. Slavery. Oppression is oppression. So we're not going to talk like that. We are going to talk about God moving, and there's movement. It's not as much as we need, but hopefully there is going to be more. So let's get on the hottest topic on that, though. I'm sorry, but I don't even really think, that's the dopest part. The dopest part was this woman. Lord. Who does not want to be Michelle Obama? What do you think, Yaya?
I really don't know. I would want to be Michelle Obama. Look at her.
Look at her.
She looks fly.
She looks so fly. She's gorgeous. And not just gorgeous, like, I don't even really care about, what her relationship, how her marriage is, whatever, all that. Yeah, whatever. Her and Obama, people always try to say, they're a power couple. I don't really, I know how marriage is. It ain't that cute. But she holds it down like Proverbs 31 woman. Like I'm not saying nobody's perfect. She's not a minister to be sitting out there preaching about her faith, but she holds it down as the integrity of it. Do you get what I'm saying? That her integrity and the love that she gives to people. I don't think Harris was the talk of the thing now. Now it's back to her again. Michelle, please run for presidency.
Please.
Just because how bad you look, girl. How good you look, girl. So we hi Instagram people. Thank you so much for being on. We're talking about Michelle right now. Michelle is just it is really showing us though how much we have grown as Black women. Now, let me just say, she's covered. She's never down talking. She hasn't agreed with her husband. I already know that. But she walks and does things gracefully and respectfully. And if you don't agree with some of her opinions she don't agree with yours, she knows how to respectfully carry herself in a kind way, in a gentle way, yet strong way. That I don't even think it's her own strength. I think it is the strength from God, honest to God, truth. And she's never really talked much about her faith, so I don't know. And I haven't read her book, so don't get mad at me because I haven't read her book. I'm just going off of what I feel in my spirit about her. And honestly, if we can say that today, and mind you, we had Miss Universe, we had Miss America, we've had a lot of Black women representing us in a great way, but I could say that if you're going to be somebody, stop listening to this music, stop acting like, I'm sorry, stop. I don't think this music and the rap women and this WAP or whatever, stop being what you cannot. That is not who we are. That is the slave woman. This is who we are. Michelle Obama, that's who we are. Stop thinking you're something that you're not. This is who you are. And if you can now, you can't have an excuse now. You can't have an excuse of why your character and your behavior isn't where it should be. That oppression shouldn't mess with your mind anymore. Because look at Michelle. Look what we have to look at. Look at that gorgeousness. Look at the way. Look at her. I promise you, it's not just the clothes. It's she's wearing it though. It's not the clothes, y'all. The outfit is banging, but it's her. It's her. It's her character. It's her integrity. It's her charm, her kindness, her loving spirit, her way to stand her ground on what she believes in. I don't even care. This kind of integrity of a person, I already know that there has to be the kingdom foundation in her to have that. But if she didn't, I would still respect it because of how she's representing herself. So I just want to say all women should be honored about Michelle Obama yesterday. All women. But because of the disparities and the attacks on Black women, this is a huge change in your mind you should have about who Black women are. Now, you cannot start to think of all these women rappers as who you are. You cannot start to think anymore about all that music about the WAP and who you think you are, sexually objectifying yourself. That is not an image anymore that you can say that, well, this is all they give us to look at. No. I want to be like Michelle Obama. Like, I remember everybody was like, I want to be like Mike. I want to be, you better be singing like Michelle. I want to be like Michelle. I want to be like Michelle. You know, Michelle is what we need to be focusing and putting our goals up to be like. God has put her there for that role. And I'm sorry, but I really know, I could already say that to this season, and this season meaning in this generation, it is to heal the Black woman's womb. It is to heal your heart. It's to heal your brokenness, the batterness, the mistreatment, all the things that they've done and come against the beauty of Black women. This is your time to get healed and to look like Michelle. To be like that in everything that you do now. You cannot have an excuse to say you don't have someone that God put in our face to actually walk, talk, be like, and have the stature of great character. I just can't stop thinking about her. And then I know that is what should be on every single person's heart. All women, and especially Black women, because of the mistreatment, the batter, the verbal abuse that we've had for over 400 years, the sexual raping, all those things, the miscapitalizing. Now God has given us a chance. And so I think you guys should take this opportunity. Stop listening to that music. Stop listening to anything that says that you're less than what Michelle is. And don't think it's cool to be the thought, the mistress, the baby mama, all these names. No longer you should accept. You should be like, I'm Michelle Obama. I'm Michelle Obama. Call yourself M. Obama, Miss Obama, whatever you want to call yourself. The Obama, second Obama, Miss Obama, Miss Michelle, whatever, abbreviated M.O. I'm the new M.O. Whatever you need to say to get your mind to get back into this integrity of behavior that we should be as Black women. And don't start marching, calling yourself a queen when you know that you haven't had this kind of integrity. You're not a queen. You're not a princess unless you got the kingdom principles. And that is the royalty character of what I believe Michelle is representing for us to get ourselves healed. Girl, let me tell you, it's time to get it together. All right. So that is our hot topic, man. And now we're going to go to our GYBW ambassador. Okay, y'all can't see her. Let me switch it over so y'all can see her from Instagram view. Can they see you now? Let's see. Scoot over a little bit. Instagram. All right. Instagram can see her now. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and go to let me close this out. And we're going to go ahead and go into our beautiful Niveah. And she's going to give her whole, her question. So it's GYBW ambassador. What do you like to say?
My question is, do you think after our vote of the presidentialcy and how Trump has been impeached and all this stuff that's happened, and now that Biden is our president, do you think Biden will improve our country, or do you think he will worsen it or make it
worsen's not a word, but make it worse?
Make it worse
Yes.
than Trump has done to our economy and everything that has happened in these years that we've had him.
So on Facebook Live, we need you guys to help and answer these questions for her. So because this is what her whole goal is to get to learn from other Black women. We want to get our young people in this GYBW, Growing Young Black Women podcast, for them to learn from you. So she wants to know, what do you think about the presidency? And we want to see your comments. So go ahead and comment while we're on Facebook Live right now. We can see your comments. So please comment, and so we can know what you guys think, because it's really important to us. It's going slow. Let's see. Anybody commenting? I have it on. Won't you ask the question one more time to see? Please comment right now. We're watching. Won't you ask the question one more time?
I was wondering if
on Instagram Live. See you guys.
If you guys think that Biden will improve, or do you think he will make this our country worse than Trump has?
I'm gonna put it up. Will Biden improve our country? Right?
Yep.
See what anybody thinks, you guys. This is, will Biden improve our country? GYBW. Will Biden will improve our country? Ooh, I didn't put Biden. Oh well. Will he improve our country? This is her question. I need some of you guys to respond to this so we can see. So what do you think?
I think that I really don't know. I don't know what he'll do.
What do you think has been happening?
From what I've seen I've seen that he is very worried. He seems to be pushing on the idea to wear your mask and how COVID-19 has been building up and that kind of thing. Because from what his first things we've known that he said everybody has to wear a mask. And that started in the beginning. And what I'm wondering, well, will we start going back to where we started, where we had to wait in lines to get into places? Will we all be wearing masks every day? But I know that some people do always wear masks, but for my little brothers, they don't wear masks because they say they can give it, but they can't get it. So we don't worry that much. But I was wondering, well, what other procedures will he take and during COVID-19? Will he go over the line, or will he go over the line? Will he go under the line, or will we stay where we're at?
Yeah. Well, what about when it comes to black issues? He's made a lot of promises. What do you think? You think there's going to be a change?
I don't think so, because I'm just thinking, well, we have lots of presidents that have said things like that for black issues, and where are we now? We have what I consider lynchings with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and more people I can't even name. We haven't been able, nothing has happened. We've protested, we've said things, we've boycotted, we've done all these kind of things. Nothing has happened. I think that we should do more. I think we should just boycott the whole world, boycott everything.
Well, I get what you're saying. You're saying that like it hasn't worked, obviously, with your guys' way. All the other presidents haven't done it. What is he? Is he like gonna be the rescuer or something? And I agree. I mean, Obama couldn't even do it, and he was black. So.
And some people even say,
and I know it's going to take more time than 1 year. It'll take more time than 8 years, but it's not going to take. It's not just the years; it's the heart of the people, and they refuse. So we have to do something ourselves, and that's where Do we have any questions on Instagram? Where she wants to know: will Biden really? Do you think Biden will really change anything for Black people and for our for our community, or would you say for
our community, our economy,
is it going to be a huge change, like he said that he is going to do? I mean, I think people are excited about the stimulus check because they're going to get more money, but like, are we really going to have laws that are going to change? And what about reparation? Do you think Black people? I think that is huge. We'll have another topic another day where we'll talk about reparation, because he made some promises. He said he's heard Black people. I mean, his voting, the way he got in, was through the Black vote. Let's just be honest.
To Seth or Fanis, I think Seth.
Yes,
right? Seth. So I believe he said, I believe it is good, but boycotting is good, but you only take it to a certain extent. Yes, we can only take it to a certain extent, but thank you so much for commenting. But I know that we can take it to a certain extent, but it's our choice. We make the decision to do something in our community, and we've done many things. We've helped our communities. We've pressed on lots of things, like, let's say, I don't know, the police brutality. We pressed on that, but it's still going on. And the proof of it is Breonna Taylor and all those Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, many other people
kept going. And after they died, there was more people that died.
And we can't, if we can say boycotting can only go to a certain extent, it can go to a certain extent, but it's our decision not to make that extent go to a smaller area. Let's say we're boycotting.
But I don't think we have never really boycotted.
We never.
Like the boycott that really worked for the African American culture was the bus boycott, and they were losing money, and then they changed the laws. But we haven't really boycotted. We just marched.
We didn't boycott.
And he's saying to a certain extent, I get it, but you have to understand, we're the highest spending race right now. We are a nation, and a nation is a community society that has a language. I believe we have our own language and things, but I don't believe that it is going to be not effective. But I do believe that we've got to just find a way as kingdom people. Not, I'm not saying all Black people are kingdom minded too, because a lot of Black people aren't in that kind of mind frame to change. We have another thing. He said, once starting to use it too much, it won't solve anything but disaster. Yeah, if you use it too much, I agree. Thank you for saying that. That if you use it too much, it could make a disaster,
but we haven't
chaos.
Been using it.
But we haven't been using it. Yeah,
we used it. I promise you, if I go through all my history books, we probably only used it a couple times.
Yeah, we got scared. We got scared
because we thought there's more. I promise you, I can say there's more of us than them. The only reason they are able to control us,
meaning people that are against the rights of human rights.
Yes, I think the only reason they're able to control us because we're scared, and they control everything that we have.
Right.
Like, let's say, who created the internet? We search it up and we'll find this Black person, but I can ask to all of my friends, and they'll say, I don't know who made the internet. I don't know.
And that's another thing. Yeah, we've done so much. Now, like, I would not say that this is definitely a new thing of where slavery has actually completely owned this country of success, even now with our oppression and the amount of men that are in prison. Slavery and the way they've been doing things, this is the only way America has been successful, is on the backs of Black people. I'm just going to be honest. In the sense of the free work, you have to understand, and those men that are in prison are Black men that are giving out free work. The amount of spending we spend is Black people spending the most money. The amount of ideas that were created.
Oh my gosh.
If we could take, there was this wonderful book that I read about, they were like, once you go back to Africa, okay, let's take everything that we'll take away from Africa. The things that we had created in America and the ideas, those were Black people that created things. And so if we take that, you're taking about every idea, every business that we've owned to create these things, we'll take it with us, and you'll see how empty this country is. Like, I know there's other races here that have stood their ground and done really good entrepreneurial businesses. And I say, bless you guys. Asian community, Italian community, Germans, a lot of foreign cultures that came here became Americans and did held their ground. But you have to understand, it's not different. It's quite different for your societal understanding. We have been born and raised here. And not only born and raised here, we created this country. And a lot of things that they lied to us, we have created. And it was built on our backs and on our minds of our ideas. So that being said, with it not being recognized or given financial blessings to it, like not only it was not recognized, but you have not even given us the foundational wealth that comes with these successful ideas. You stole that as well. People are not thinking about that. So this is why, and then you start to do other things, redline us, gentrification, all kinds of things. It goes on and on. That kind of oppression is still in the minds, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today too, how that has really affected the minds of Black men and Black women and even our families. So thank you so much. Okay, Jaysie, nice hearing you again. Oh, nice to hear you. Bye. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for commenting.
Yes, thank you for commenting. Yeah, so we would love to see more people comment next time when we get the actual when we get our wonderful ambassador, GYBW ambassador. She's going to also shout out to my cousin Crystal Porter. She is a BEA STEM awardee. Okay. And I want to just say shout out to her. Congratulations to you. And she's going to be recognized on February 11th, I think. 11th. And she's an engineer, guys. You don't really understand. This is a Black woman in a huge Fortune 500 company doing engineer work, and we don't recognize this. This is again just like, hidden colors. Like, these are Black women doing great things to build this country and successfully. So I just want to say congratulations to you, Crystal, for your STEM recognition and your award that's coming up. I'm gonna mention it again because I'm so proud of you. But Crystal Porter, she is an engineer and a successful engineer, and she's an awardee for BEA STEM of this next coming up on February 11th. And my daughter has been invited to come as the K through 12 to watch that online live. You guys got to go to this conference. It is dynamic. If you're into STEM, get it, because Black people and Black women are very wise. They're in the math. Come on, y'all. We are very smart people. And so this is a program, and she's mentoring my daughter right now. So I'm excited because Niveah is into science and math. And so I want to say thank you, Crystal, and for mentoring my daughter, and you're amazing. So I just want to do a shout out to her. And so now, Niveah, I just want to thank you for coming. Would you like to stay? You can leave. You could go.
Okay.
All right. Bye,
you guys later. Bye.
All right. So that was the ambassador. And so now we're going to go right into the segment of what I want to talk about, which is, this is coming apart. What I want to talk about is narcissism. Okay. And I talked last week on codependency, and the week before, codependency and things like that. And I want you to know that this is usually in relationship of when Black women are in codependency. We usually get into the area after that as highly involved into men that are narcissists. Okay. First, let me just say, I'm not targeting Black men. I'm not targeting to any kind of hate towards Black men. I am saying that I want to talk about as women, as Black women, what the important is for us to actually acknowledge that we have in our families and in our relationships. And there is a illness, there is pain, there is a lot of suffering. There's a lot of issues that we have right now, and we don't have names for it. And it so happens that this is one of the things that we finally can name. And now that we're naming it, we're not saying that we hate you. We're not saying that we don't want you to get healed. We're just saying that it's about time for you to stop in this kind of behavior, because if you don't, our families are going to continue to get destroyed. And so it's extremely important we talk about narcissism. It's extremely important we talk about codependency. That's why I brought it up. And it's extremely important to talk about these issues, because if we don't, then we won't get where we need to get to. And so I want to talk about narcissism because I've seen it in a lot of my family. I've seen it in a lot of women that are struggling with it. And so I really want minds and think about, why as a codependent have I struggled in this area, and why have I dated these kinds of men. And so we're going to make this a topic for 2 days in a row, because it is definitely a topic that no one wants to talk about, and we are experiencing. And I think a lot of Black women are experiencing, and it has a lot to do with the pain, the actual the lack of security of Black man feels. And so a lot of Black men are insecure in this kind of way, and they come into this kind of identity rather than identify themselves with God. They think they are God, and they become this crown royal behavior because of all the insecure, lack of respect, societal things that's happened in their environment. And this is where I feel like we haven't got a grasp to it. So a lot of women that are codependents, they go right into a narcissistic relationship. So let me share my screen, and I want to discuss this and see if anybody, please comment. Like I said, I can see you guys' comments. Where's my other phone at? Did you take the other phone? She took my phone, y'all. Well, I want to see you guys' comments, and please let me know of how you feel about that, because it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and it tears us our families apart. So let me define what narcissism is, okay? So this is not something I just made up and I'm just talking about it. It really does exist, and it really, yeah, thank you, because I need to know if anybody's commenting. Oh, we have people commenting. There we go. All right. So let me go to the page. Okay. Let me go ahead and share. Okay, so you guys can see that this is what the real definition of narcissism is: an excessive interest and an admiration of oneself and one's physical appearance, selfishness involving a sense of entitlement and a lack of empathy, and the need of admiration and characterizing a personal type. So this is a behavior that you are just so into yourself because you have concepted in your mind that I have to do this kind of behavior because this society, they don't respect me enough already. They hate me enough. I'm going to create somebody else to make them all grandiose. There's different kinds. We're gonna talk about in our next one. And Takia's gonna get on the next podcast. But I wanted to warm you guys' hearts up, get you the definition of narcissism, and then I'm going to get you to, I'm going to tell you the different kinds, because there's about 3 main kinds. And you guys, you're going to start to think, look, every person isn't a narcissist. This is an actual diagnosis. So don't get all extra about like, hold up, you're a narcissist. Don't start doing that. But in our next episode, next Friday, I will have a clinical a video of her describing narcissism and things like that, but and describing how it goes in the relationship of these 3 different types. But I want you to understand the actual definition. This is someone that has excessive interest and admiration of themselves. They want to be admired. They want their physical appearance to be great, and they're very selfish people. Okay, God talks about this all in the Bible, man. We're in that generation. This is modernism. But this is a lot I see in Black relationships. Oh, you think I'm joking? Oh, yeah, it's real. The percentage of people that are narcissists are men. First thing, they're the highest percentage. So you're gonna see men that act like this the most. But little did you know, could you believe that this behavior is the most out of black men? You think I'm joking? Okay, let me show you what. Okay, I'll show you that, but let me show you this is what it means in the behavior. I'm going to show you in a second the statistics of how black men are the highest in this field. But let me talk about the behavior first. Okay? Grandiosity, self-importance. I've got to be the most important thing you talk about. You can't talk about nothing else. You got to be taught, everything got to be guided on, everything in your relationship has to be about this person. This person, everything you doing, you turn down your business. And I mean, I'm not talking about families, businesses come together. I've seen really successful families where the wife said, okay, I'm going to help him out. We're going to work out this business together. And they believed they were successful. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it's got to happen that way or else type behavior. Okay. All right. Or you feel guilty if you don't. Okay. You're focused on a fantasy of great success. Okay. They haven't had success since they was in their 20s. And they still saying, oh, I got to do something just that. Everybody, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be famous. Just keep believing I'm going to be famous. 20 years later, ain't happening. And they have the same kind of behavior. It's all about them. Feels special, like only the only other special people can really understand me. Like, I'm only at this level and only people at my level understand me. All right, and that's it. Okay, and you don't understand me because you're not on my level. Why you married me then? Why you my boyfriend then? If I don't understand you, why? Because I need you to enable me when I fall short. Like, that's where codependency, that's why you see a lot of women that have codependency in these kinds of relationships. Okay. So that's another reason. Okay. Then you needs high level admiration. You got to be like constantly petting them. Oh, you're such a good, you're so good. You're so nice. And you got like, they really want you to be petting them all day long. And it feels like it's never going anywhere. Like, you talk positive to them, they're always like, you're gonna see a lot. These are a lot of the covert narcissists that really give you this pity party, and you're constantly petting them, and they never give it out. They never admire you. They never say positive things. Maybe at the beginning, so you could feel like you're a part of something. They seem quite charming, but then after that, you're done. There's no filling your cup up. It's all about filling them up. Okay. They exploit others. They're arrogant. Arrogant meaning a very prideful heart, like batting of the eyes, like their nose is up, stiff-necked. No empathy. They don't feel sorry when they make mistakes, when they hurt somebody. They don't feel bad. It's just a sorry. It's not a action love. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to do whatever I can to try to actually make you feel better, or in the sense of, I'm going to do whatever I can to try to get you to trust me again because I made a mistake. There's no empathy there. It's just, I'm sorry and that's it. You better deal with it. Okay. Entitled, like they deserve something without earning it. They haven't done anything. They haven't worked hard for it. They've done things that's for them, but they haven't done anything that what is actually needed or is asked to do. They're going to do it their way only. And then it's like only about them. Okay. And they're very envious and jealous. So they're looking at everybody else's stuff and very jealous that everybody's got a thing. And then they're mad that they don't got nothing. So it's a very serious disorder in the behavior. You're going to see this a lot. You see this a lot. I'm going to talk next week about how the narcissist that's in the Bible. So don't think this is nothing God's never seen. You know, I want you guys to know, as a chaplain, I'm here to help you heal. But if we don't diagnose or say what these illnesses are, that's just like it is. And I'm not trying to preach to y'all all day long about things, but I'm trying to tell you truth. The enemy wants you not to say what it is. So then you could think it doesn't exist. And that's how he wins. It's like a stick underneath a underneath a bed. Okay. Say there is something underneath your pillow, for instance. And then you keep thinking like, man, you pull up the pillow and you swear it looks like a stick. All right. And you're like, oh, it must be a stick. And as soon as you grab it, it turns into a snake. It's not a stick. That's been the whole kind of like, illusion for you to think that's just a stick. As soon as you touch it, though, that's why we got to touch these things. As soon as you touch it, it turns into the snake. And then you realize, oh my God, it's a snake. You throw it out your bed. See, that's how the enemy hides. And these kinds of illnesses, these kinds of behaviors, and you don't name it, and you're going to still think it's a stick. You got to say what it is. And then that's how you get your freedom in your mind, because oppression in the mind is one of the toughest things of slavery that still exists in a lot of us, is the oppression in the mind. So you might be out of slavery and delivered, but you're still in oppression because you're not freed in your mind. So we've got to know what it is. All right. So now, like I said, this part you guys are not going to like. All right. Now, mind you, I went to 2 sources. I don't just give quotes and I don't really like to quote things about Black people that aren't from Black people. So let me just be honest with you. These are quotes and statistics that are from, clinical articles that I've read that are from white men that wrote it. So of course, I don't necessarily not agree with it, but I do believe in a book that I did read that could prove that is true, which was written by a Black woman, and she is a doctor, which was the post-traumatic slave syndrome. And if you guys read that, please, PTSS, you've got to read that book by Joy Greer. She describes the lack of respect has caused a traumatic state in a lot of Black men. And this is where I believe the narcissistic behavior has come. Is it an excuse? Is it an excuse for you to be this kind of behavior? No. Is there healing? I will talk about that tomorrow. Yes, there is. But acknowledge the fact that you have lived this kind of behavior. And it's mostly in the young stage. Like, these are men between the ages 25 to about 40 and maybe even hitting 50. But when they get in their 60s, it's like it wears off. They start to wake up. But boy, Black American men have had this biggest issue, and I think it's because of the PTSS that they've struggled with. We've got to name it, then we own it, and then we conquer it. Name it, own it, and conquer these things. And Black women, your codependent behavior has like enabled it and covered this kind of behavior as if, oh, that's just a Black man, it's okay. No, it's not. It's not okay. African Americans' narcissism scores average 2.3 times higher than for whites. Hispanics, Native, and Asian Americans also scored higher than whites. Poorer respondents, those with household incomes below $35,000 per year, also showed a high narcissistic behavior prevalence than wealthier ones. Okay. So it also has to do with poverty. Again, poverty means you're not respected. So you create this image of somebody that is, grand. You create this image that you're somebody that's some kind of king and you haven't earned it. You create this image that you're some kind of success and you haven't done anything to do it. You create this image so people could just worship you, and God's the only one that needs to be worshiped. It is very, very easy to swap in when you've been going through a lot of pain and suffering, and people have said every single day to you that you're less than nothing. So you try to make an identity, and instead of identifying yourself with God, you've decided to create this whole personality that is not really who you are. You're really insecure. You really are sad about what happened to you, and you really feel lack of respect. So you don't know how to say that and confront it. So you become a narcissist. And so I'm praying that women acknowledge this, because we kind of actually help it. Let me just say that. Okay. The codependency behavior, I talked about it before, is what really has targeted this kind of behavior. We have allowed a lot of this behavior happen because, of course, we see it all over our country. I mean, let's just be honest. We just came out of a presidency who I believe has a lot of these behaviors. But, when I don't think that's the only reason why we see it in Black men. I mean, I believe that this is a heart issue and an identity issue. And so, I know what they say. If you do research on narcissism, they're going to say there's no way you could get healed. You could get treated, but not healed. And I believe in the blood of Jesus. I believe there's healing. It might take some time. And because of all the time you did wasting, lying, just lying to people of who you really are, lying about who you really want, who you really are. And I mean, you even see some even get success because they cheated their way up. They lied, cheated, and they found a way to get successful. But they're inside, they're the little boy that's hurt. Inside, they are insecure. And so at the end of the day, they're gonna hit a place where if we stand our ground, separate yourself right away from that behavior. You've got to separate, because that's where then you become a codependent if you don't. They draw to women that are enablers, that are rescuers, that will try to, go ahead and before they can hit the rock bottom, you're coming in to save them. That is a codependent behavior. And we talked about that a lot of Black women struggle with because of the slave mentality and the struggles that Black men have went through. It is not our job to do that. That is God's job. And because we've been doing that, here's the results on their end now. They're narcissists and we became codependents. This is slavery. This is what the results of slavery and oppression does, is these made up identities that you have to become or do, which is a mental issue that we've got to stop and fight against and say, no, we are not going to be controlled from our pain anymore. We're going to face our rooted issues, things that have been rooted, and get healed separately. You cannot be in a relationship with this kind of stuff, y'all. That's why our families are divided. That's why our relationships are divided. It's because you can't be a codependent and narcissist together and think it's going to work out. You are both in serious pain. Serious pain. And our churches haven't acknowledged it, and we haven't gotten healed from it because they're just saying, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. And it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with facing our own separate issues. So please take this seriously. This is part 1 of narcissism that I'm going to talk about. We are going to bring it up again in our next week on Friday. And I'm going to give you guys a video and more tips. But I really want to say, Black women, if you're dealing with someone, and let me go back to the other screen before, that has these kinds of behaviors, okay? You're dealing with someone that has these kind of behaviors. It's just time. I'm not saying that he can't get healed. It's just not your job to do it. It is not, he has to go get treatment. He's got to go get himself help. And if he doesn't want to acknowledge that he has these behaviors, then he's not the one for you. You've got to separate. Look, Black women, I just showed you guys the picture and the identity of who we need to start to identify ourselves after we've already identified ourselves as God's princess. Is a wonderful woman to look at is Michelle Obama. Okay, now at that moment, you need to think of that and start to heal yourself. It's time for us to get healed, Black women. And I'm talking about any women that are listening now. You don't have to be Black to learn from this process, but this is the issues I'm trying to get you guys to see that we have in our culture. And we need to target it. The codependent behavior is because you're 90% of the time are dealing with a narcissist. Okay? Your codependent behavior is because this is what actually has happened through slavery of our culture. Narcissistic men and codependent women. It's not going to work. It's not kingdom. It's not kingdom. God wants royal people. He wants humble, kind, meek, good-hearted people. That's kingdom principles. Okay? Kingdom principles is looking out, loving your neighbor more than you love yourself. You can't be a narcissist like that. Love your neighbor like you love yourself. I'm sorry. And if you're codependent, how you gonna love your neighbor if you don't love yourself? You're a codependent. You're not loving yourself. You're not loving yourself. So that's what I'm saying. We're not doing Keenan principles. Codependency and narcissistic behaviors are exactly what's happening in our relationships. And we've got to target it. We've got to name it. We've got to name it and treat it and get help. And this is how I would definitely say is how you're going to get that help. Please ask questions. I'm sitting here right now. I would love to hear anybody that would like to get on live and make any comments that you have. I would love to see what you want to say about this because it's a serious look. Do you think that this is, like I'm trying to explain to you, that this is a high percentage in our community? I already showed you my sources, but what do you think in yourself? You don't have to believe what I'm saying. I just want you to think about it. Why is there a high percentage of Black men narcissistic? Why is there a high percentage of Black women codependent? And I know poverty could come into that in that area, but it's a poverty in the mind. Please also look at our wonderful GYBW cup. If you want to order one, let me know. I will send you guys one, but this is our Growing Young Black Women coffee cups, so we can have our conversations and have our cups together and go, yeah, get our cups and drink coffee. Okay. But I would love to see and hear from your beautiful voices. Like I said before, I'm not here to talk bad about any Black men. I think you guys are amazing. You guys are a wonderful representation. And the strength I see now, the fathers I'm seeing, but I am not going to neglect those that have been for many years falsely representing the Black community. And that's the narcissistic behavior and the codependency. And that's why our families are broken. Okay. That's why you see the behavior of adultery and the pimp. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's think about the 70s. The pimp was the man, right? Oh, oh, he's the pimp. Oh, everybody okay. That's a narcissist. So don't tell me you haven't seen a narcissist. All those movies of what's his name? Oh, I can't think right now. My daddy used to watch these movies because why? My daddy was one too. I'm trying to tell you, narcissism is huge in the Black community because this is what they felt like they need to do to get some kind of respect. I'm going to objectify women. I'm going to talk about them awfully. I'm going to talk about how great I am and how grandiose I'm doing and all the money I have and whoop, whoop, whoop. You're a narcissistic behavior. When in the real, when you're alone by yourself, you're insecure. You're scared. You're in a great deal of fear. And you're pretending. And a lot of people die in this behavior because they pretend so bad they get out there in the real stuff and then get caught up. I would love to see anybody that would like to comment on this because it's real. And this is high. Like I said, African-American men are right now the highest percentage in this behavior. And I believe the same when it comes to codependency with women. Now, there is a book. It's a research I would like you guys to do about why are we having these behaviors? Why are we responding this way? I really honestly believe it's a traumatic state. But doesn't mean that we're supposed to stay in this fear. Doesn't mean we're supposed to stay. This is where I believe Yahshua Messiah comes in stronger than ever before. Face it and get healed. It is our healing season, y'all. The reason why I feel like God has put me in this place is to help heal the Black woman's womb. And that's because this is our season. We are getting to the promised land, but I am not about to sit around in the wilderness with you. I'm saying, come over here where you find healing. Face these issues. Are you in a relationship with a narcissistic man? And if you are, get out so you could get healed because you should have never been in one. You need to get healing. Get out of it. The only relationship you need to be in that is that or only person you need to worship is Yahshua, your Messiah, and he's no longer a man. He's God. He was fully man, fully God. But I'm trying to say is that he is now risen to the heavenly. So that is your God. That's the only man you should worship. You shouldn't be worshiping any men. That's it. I'm not saying love them, be kind to them, but not worship them. And that's what a narcissist wants. He wants worship. He wants you to worship. Get out of those kind of relationships. I will not worship you. I will not constantly be celebrating you when you've done nothing for that. And this is where your heart needs to be at. And then pray for him too, because God says in our word, pray for your enemies. If he's now considered your enemy, pray for him. But doesn't mean you don't have boundaries and you keep away so you could be where you need to be and get to the royalty that you should be at. Keep your crown on, women of God, and get out of these relationships. And yes, there is someone out there that is a representation of Jesus. Don't worry. Don't be afraid. Be patient now so you don't have to be patient later. Stop being impatient and get into relationships. You see these behaviors early and then you be like, well, it's going to change. I did it. It's not going to change until you change. Oh, you think it's them? No, it's you that you're ignoring these behaviors and you're covering it. I've heard a pastor talk about one time, not going to say any names, that my wife covered me. No, she enabled you. Your wife enabled you. Your wife was a codependent. There is no covering that's supposed to be over you except for God. He covers you. He's the place of your hiding place. It's under his wings, not under ours. We're not supposed to be covering you, men. Okay? And even it was to say, it says in the word of God that men protect and provide, but I still believe God is my ultimate covering. Like I'm grateful for how you're providing, protecting me, and possibly cover me in the sense of the things that I need for the world. But for a spiritual, God is my covering that goes beyond the world. And so you need to be getting covered by God, not by your wife. Stop saying that. I'm funny that I hear that mostly out of the Black community. I don't hear that in any other community, and women are proud of it. That disgusts me. You shouldn't be proud to be sitting around covering anyone except for yourself and the children that you're supposed to be protecting. And then when they ain't children no more, that's not your job no more. That's Jesus again. That's his job. So we've got to get in order of the way we think. Like I said, this is here for a place for you to get healed, to get loved. But if we can't get healed, we don't acknowledge what hurts. We can't get healed if we don't acknowledge what's been happening. We can't get healed if we keep calling it a stick and it's really a snake. You're looking underneath your pillow, you see a stick, and you're like, oh, it's just a stick. You leave it there. You look underneath the pillow again, it's still a stick. But finally, you're smart enough, I'm going to touch it and get this thing out of it. And you found out, as soon as you touched it, it turned into a snake. It's never been a stick. It just pretended to be a snake. Pretended to be a stick. It's been a snake the whole time. It just straightened it out, pretending it was some kind of stick. It's been a snake. It's been hiding. And you've been letting it be hidden too, because you even hid it the whole time as a stick. You've let it stay under your pillow. We've got to acknowledge what the issue is. We've got names for these things now. You have no excuse. You have no excuse not to what to call, because you know what? I know what it is with Black people. We have been through so much trauma, so much stuff that we have ignored the real issue and just kept moving, and we think that's okay. And God says, no, it's not. You can't come into the promised land like that. Look, I took you out of from the oppressors, and yet we're still working on that. I don't agree. We haven't really been away from them, but let's just say some of us have. Now let me take you to freedom. And what he cannot take us to freedom if we don't acknowledge what we need to get freed from. You need to get freed from codependency, women of God. You need to get freed from narcissism, men of God. You need to get free. You need to go deep and find out what's been rooted in you and look at that young man, that little boy that's been hurt. Women, you've got to look deep inside and look at that little girl and why she's been hurt and why you worship anybody other than God. You shouldn't be worshiping anyone except for God, the Most High God. Love your God with all your heart, with all your mind, and all your soul. You're not doing that. You're doing that to other people. And then you are in narcissistic relations because of you, not because they are who they are. You have the right to say no. You have the right to say, no, I'm good. And I made the same mistake too. I'm not lying. But when you get to your revelation of freedom, it's up to you to maintain it, stay there, and be wise and ask God how to handle it. All right. I thank you guys for being here. I thank you for this podcast. I thank you for all the beautiful women that are watching. You are beautiful. You are amazing. And I really hope to see you guys next week, where we're going to go again talking about the same narcissism again. And don't just stay here on Facebook. Make sure you guys are also going to subscribe at our GYBW podcast on YouTube. I need you guys to get on there and start subscribing so we can get people all over, let me just say, to be able to see and be a part of this kind of, teachings and learning about Black women. Okay. We love you guys so much. I'm going to go ahead and put on our screen our end of our podcast. If you guys want to stay connected, like I said, follow us, or you go to our website, www.wewillbuildmovement.com. But we are here to help heal, to help change, and to get us to a place where Black women, I don't want to show that. Sorry, guys. Where Black women are actually getting to a place of healing. It's time to end. Get your coffee. Get your coffee mugs. Get your mugs.